Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dave Kills All the Drow, I guess. I mean, aside from Teresa, who mostly got killed by troglodytes, the last thing that we saw was 8 whirling the flail overhead and then bringing it down on Destrel, killing him dead. So with a look around you, only this drow tied to the wall over here is still alive. All other drow are dead. There are 2 blood-covered lizard types standing here staring at you. And you still have the rest of your turn. So what would you like to do?
Let me think. Do I want to kill the troglodytes as well or try and appease them? Probably appease them. It would be... I could do it if I was lucky. Probably they're not super strong.
But they also can't communicate any language other than troglodyte.
Yeah. Okay. So I grabbed this dead drow
Yeah.
that I just killed.
Okay, so hold on. You got your flail in one hand,
Yeah.
your lantern in the other.
I dropped the flail.
Throw the flail aside.
Grab the dude.
Lift the dead drow with his pulped face. Lift him up off the ground.
Throw him like towards the troglodytes.
Yeah, and just chuck him
Like, here you go.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Totally. Not like I pick it up and I attack you with it, but like I made this for you. Dinner time. Okay. All right. Make a I feel like it's kind of like it's a charisma saving throw, but it's kind of like a persuasion. It's not really a persuasion check because you're sort of trying to persuade them. They're not animals. They're sentient. I think let's make it a charisma saving throw. You have disadvantage because you can't actually communicate them, but you have advantage because you gave them food. So let's have you make a charisma saving throw, and we'll set the DC at 10.
Do I have inspiration?
No, we've just been fighting for like 3 episodes straight.
Boo!
I was going to say you can have mine.
You anger them. You throw it at their feet. And what you didn't realize is that troglodytes, you know, they are offended when someone gives them food, right? They need to get it themselves. And they hiss at you angrily, like, how dare you? And it's definitely clear that they're going to, at least initially, they're going to attack you.
All right. In which case, how are we doing with weapons?
Your flail is now on the ground. I think all you can do, all you have left is to move, right? Because you can't draw a weapon because you've already used your free interact with an object.
All I can do is move.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And I will move. Hang on. I have 10 feet of distance on me. I'm going to kite them over here.
Okay.
Because they can't get up to me or any of the others and make an attack.
Okay, so you're gonna fall back that way?
Yep.
All right. So there are no more drow available. So these.
Actually, which dude did you say had my? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
This dude down over there is it lab.
Push. Whoops.
Okay. So let's run up the stairs, snarling and spitting. They chase after you, but they don't get to attack this turn. Your turn.
Okay. What's the save for stinky boys?
It's a Constitution save.
Okay, and it's not poisoned effect.
Let me look. It might be. Stench. It is poisoned. Yep. And if you succeed, then you get to just keep it for the. Like you don't have to make another save.
25.
Their horrific stink does not bother you, for you have no nostrils. You can take your turn.
I'm just covered in blood as well. Just a little overpowering.
Yeah.
All right. Putting down the lantern. What kind of action is that?
That's part of your move. It's like interacting with an object. Or you could drop it and see if it doesn't break.
I'll just use a one-handed weapon.
Okay.
What have I got in this bag? That's all my D8 weapons gone. So a short sword, I guess.
Okay.
All right, short sword.
Okay, all right.
All right, I'm gonna stab one of these troglodytes with a short sword.
Okay. Which one?
This one.
One in front of you? Okay. All right, you draw your short sword, stab it into him.
9 damage.
Killed, dead, murdered. So he runs up to you as you're drawing the sword and you just like run it into him.
Yep. And the second one. Short sword. 10.
It's a miss. Okay. Anything
I
else?
don't have my shield, so I can't do anything else.
Okay. All right. So these two troglodytes don't come running to help or anything. So all that's left is this one brave troglodyte who gets 3 attacks. Here we go.
Come at me.
The troglodyte attempts to bite you. He gets a 17.
That's a miss.
The troglodyte attempts to claw you. He gets a 21.
I might as well parry that.
Use your last parry. Okay.
I'm not going to get
The
me
very
knocked off.
final parry.
So you short sword, you block the attack. Yep. And then one more claw attack. The troglodyte gets a 16. All right. 8. Can you kill this troglodyte in one turn?
Let's find out.
Mm-hmm.
Not with that attack.
Oh no. A short sword. Aha,
So-
a second strike. You hit.
5. 8 damage.
It's a good
Minimum.
number, but a bad damage roll. Do you want to try to, I mean, knock him down, but he'll just get up.
I don't even have the shield to
Oh,
do
that's
that.
right. You don't have your shield. Yeah, because you've got your lantern, your sword.
As my part of my free action in that case, since I have a weapon down, I will put the lantern on the ground.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Jewel.
So you set down the lantern. Okay. Okay.
All right,
Troglodyte's
try
turn.
me. Try me.
Okay.
Come on.
Let's talk about dark vision and attacking inanimate objects. The troglodyte wants to kick the lantern over. What's the armor like? AC 10?
Dave's face.
Like
I'll
the
set it down
troglodyte
behind
sees you set it down, and he's just gonna boot it into the wall, right? He just wants to like knock it out of the way. I figure it's an AC. He's got 3 attacks, right? It's just sitting on the floor.
I'm sort of standing over it.
Well,
Still
but you're
pushing.
not though, right? Like if you were marked, because that was the thing, right? You didn't mark him, but if you were marked,
I mean,
then...
but 8
Okay,
set it
that's
in
not-
their own square.
yeah, but you can't just defend anything by putting it at your feet, right?
I marked him. No, I did it. I did it.
No, you didn't. You didn't say that you did. You didn't say that you marked him.
All right. So that's the way it's going to be. That's the way it's going to be. You can push over the lens.
I think he's gonna take a swing at it, like swipe at it with a claw.
I feel like 8 would get an attack of opportunity though, because he's attacking
No.
something in his square. That's
no, but
not-
again, like you don't
Wait,
get an attack
what's
of
your
opportunity
protect
if something is
thing?
tiny and on you.
What's your protect thing that you use against like when something attacks like us and you're right there,
Either it's marked or I use the warding maneuver.
which you're
Marked,
out of?
Adam
Okay.
said I did not because I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't say I'm warding them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was my only thought, is that because it's like right there within 5 feet of you, you could probably like ward it, but you don't have that anymore.
Yeah, I mean that would be the thing, is you could use the parrying if it were a creature or like whatever. But yeah, the reason here is that he takes a swipe at the lantern to knock the light out. He doesn't have to pick it up and extinguish it. It's a glass bulb. He just needs to smash it against the wall. So he's attacking it. This is the same as kicking a weapon or whatever. So yeah, I think he has to make the attack because there's a chance he could miss because you're still all up in his face fighting him. He's got 3 attacks. So it would be like a swing at the lantern. If he hits it, it like goes out. And then so that he has advantage on his second 2 attacks, right? Because it's dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing could be like smashing the lantern might cause, like, it has a chance of causing a flare up, right? Of like fire enough to hit both of you or something. But let's see if he can hit it first. Yeah. And it's an aggressive claw attack, so it's completely like reasonable. You could take a swing at it. So let's see. Claw swipe at the lantern, and he gets an 11, so he hits it. Is a glass of oil. What happens? How do oil flasks work? Like, what do you think the chances? Let's
if it's
talk
oil,
about
the
this.
oil would spread and the fire would catch.
I think lanterns use like a pint of oil.
He shatters the lantern because he hates it because it's bright, right? Because he's not super smart. He just sees light and goes after it. Right? So he smashes it. The question is, do both of you or one of you, or like, what happens with the
pint of oil in there?
It would be the square that it's in. When you use oil and light it, it does 5 damage. But if it splashes, then I don't know. Do we both make dex saves to see if we dodge it, or we take the splash damage, or something like that?
Well, how much? Like, it only lights a single square on fire, right? Like,
right. And he just kicked it with his foot, so it might go.
He slashed it. Yeah. I think it's reasonable for both of you to make saves to see if you get like lantern oil on you. So let's have you both make dex save to see if you get. Otherwise, it just flares up and burns out.
Okay.
Well, and that's the other question. How, when you do spill oil and light it, how long does that flame
It's
last?
instant. Like
Burns for 2 rounds and deals 5 fire damage.
Yeah, there you
2
go.
rounds.
Okay.
So I would say that 8 should have 2 rounds of light.
Okay, sure, but that also means that the fire, like, when does it deal that damage, right? Like,
Enters the area or ends its turn.
okay, so it happened now. So again, if it's going to be, the thing is, he's not making an attack. It's just splattering oil. So it's not like, because the thing is, either he lights your square on fire and he doesn't have to move, right?
We could just randomize the roll about whether or not it catches on fire.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing.
We'll treat it like a flask of oil that has covered a 5-foot square that is on fire.
Yeah, which is just 8 square then, because that's where it is. It's at your feet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let me.
Give the flask.
I'm just gonna roll. I'll just roll the die of fate, right? We'll just say on a 1, there's fire that 8 has to deal with.
Okay.
Okay, no. So it flares up against the wall and gutters out. It doesn't burn enough to catch 8 on fire. So it is dark, but the troglodyte isn't backing off, so you don't have to guess where it is. You can attack, but so it's going to make 2 attacks. It gets a bite and a second claw to finish its attack action. I get a 20.
Okay, that's a hit.
Okay, for 5.
Okay.
And the claw is another. It's another 20.
Okay, that's a hit.
For another 5.
Okay.
At 2? Oh my god. Okay. So he smashes the light, snarls, throws his stinking body on you, and just starts biting and clawing you, tearing at your plates. And you can feel, like, I don't know if you have internal like sensors or whatever, but whatever is in you that lets you know that you are being destroyed, it's going off at full volume right now.
It's bad.
Yes.
Bedtime.
Yeah. But it's your turn. There is a foe on you. You can't see them. And you have a weapon in your hand, right? You get your flail or you get your short sword.
Yeah, stabbing time.
Okay, so disadvantage. You know where he is. He hasn't moved.
Oh, 19.
That's a hit.
Stab him for 10 points of damage.
He is dead. So you just, like, in the dark, you just shove your sword out. It stabs into something meaty. There is a and then the body slides off and thumps to the floor.
I breathe heavily if I breathed, but I.
So all you can hear now, it's suddenly silent in this dark tomb, and all you can hear is somewhere in the distance. You hear someone mumbling through a gag.
All right. Am I out of initiative now?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah. Combat is over.
I have a potion, and Jewel has one more potion. You should use the potion.
No one. We have HP. Well, 8 doesn't, but like we.
Well, hold on.
That's what I'm saying. 8 should use the potion.
It is pitch black. You don't know if there are any grooves around, but if there are, you're likely to be eaten by them. What are you going to do?
My lantern is smashed.
Yeah.
However, I still have 7 torches. So
Okay, perfect.
How do you wake people up who are unconscious?
It depends on why they're unconscious.
Oh, okay.
mostly just wait the
Mm.
D4 hours. Yeah, so I drop the sword again. Like there's like a pile of different weapons now. Pull out a light and look around. Check
What is the radius? What's the radius on a torch? 40-20?
Yeah, 2020, 420.
Sorry, I always say 40-20 because in Roll20 it's the total amount of light and then how much of it is dim. Okay.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, when Lauren's character got drow poisoned, we just had to like hit her.
Yeah. So when you ignite the torch, you do indeed see the stinking corpse of the troglodyte lying before you. And as you look around, you see the corpses of many other combatants. The floors are slick with bloody footprints. And as with many times before, you are still alive and your enemies are dead. You see lying in a nice, neat little row, Rin, Jewel, and Makaria, but at a glance, there's no way to tell if they're dead or alive or what is happening.
Okay. I kneel down next to Ren and being careful not to kill her. I try and like take a pulse because I know how to use a medicine kit.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think Rin is alive.
Okay. I shake her lightly.
Rin. Okay, so Rin, you feel slowly, you feel yourself being lifted out of a terrible dream of being covered in spiders. And you blink hard and you see holding a torch in one hand, towering above you, just like battle damaged as shit, right? Like huge dents, massive rents of like claw marks. Eight looks like pretty badly roughed up, but alive, and so are you. You still feel like total ass though, because the poison will continue running through you for another hour, and you feel like just like heavy and weak.
You got him right.
Yes.
Say like pulling myself up against the wall, basically.
There are a pair of rancid corpses right next to you.
Like yeah, I'd point over like very slowly, and it like creaks, and there's like a little malfunctioning wire noise as I point over to the one on the wall. Still alive. Interrogate, maybe.
Yeah. What about the others? I like look around.
Yeah, like next to you.
Everybody else.
I say, and then I just step on this dude's head and just like smush it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I kneel down next to Jewel, and I do the same thing.
Okay. All right. Jewel is dead. There is no life in this blood splattered corpse.
Aw.
It like stays there for like maybe 10 seconds, and stands up slowly, grabs this little drow off the floor, just turns away from you, like walks a few steps off, and just starts like just absolutely pulverizing just breaking every bone systematically. Just ow.
Terrifying. And where do you do that? Just like over here somewhere?
Just a few steps away, so the blood doesn't get on Rin.
Okay. All right. We see most of this probably like we hear it. We hear the crunching and the wet meat punching sound. But we watch the reaction is the face of this drow over here. Just his eyes just wide, like he's like trembling in fear, sweat running down his face as you vent your emotions on this corpse.
Yep. I'm gonna do that
Okay, Rin, what are
I
you
mean,
what
while
are you
you're
doing while
doing
Eight is
that, I'm like,
rebooting?
okay, he's clearly dealing with something. I'm gonna go like crawl over this body between us. Wait, is that Jules' corpse?
The
Yeah.
one directly between us is Jules, but there's also a drow that you don't have to crawl over.
Yeah, I can
Jewel.
I can just kind of like
Okay.
weakly get myself up and like move over to here.
8, take inspiration.
And check Macaria.
Murder venting. Okay. Yeah, Macaria is the same, like
And
subdued by poison.
Yeah, like wake her up
Okay.
if I can.
Yep. Yeah, you give her a little shake. And
You know, slap across the face, that kind of thing.
So by contrast, with 8 being like, wake up, you're just like, smack.
Just like, wake up.
Okay, so Macaria, yours is less like being lifted up out of a dark well and more like 1 minute you are dreaming about having to go to a Kelemverite dinner event but forgetting your robes
Worst.
to suddenly being like back in reality, covered in blood, next to some stinky corpses, just like the rest of your life has been. And you too feel absolutely terrible. You feel just so bad.
I'd rather be dead.
Rin stabs you, you're dead.
Surprise.
Wake up, time to die.
It's extra XP.
Wait.
I put my thumbs in Macaria's eyeballs.
Last thing I remember, Jewel was actually dead, right?
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong about that. I say like looking over at prone Jewel. bleeding
Yeah,
on
we
the
see
floor.
Jewel's body and then a tiny, like semi-see-through version of Jewel wearing white robes and little angel wings playing a harp just like floats up out of Jewel's body.
From what I recall, I don't think she would prefer to stay that way.
I doubt it. If you have some sort of answer, certainly.
I do. It was from that awful piano that you played, remember?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, so
They-
it'll take an hour. Is this place safe? Or...
Well, wait until you're not feeling like poisoned garbage before you make any kind of skill checks, Macaria.
Before you check your skills.
I suppose we have a few days.
and then we'll deal with it.
Do you think she would be upset if she came back and she was missing a limb? We could say it was the drow.
Probably. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't let you do that.
Wait a second. More to the point. Stop it.
Fine. Do we have any like anti-poison?
No,
No.
I'm not carrying around my drow venom detoxifying.
Yeah, I mean, you would be...
Can I go like rummage around in that drow corpse to see if they carry around anti-poison?
They definitely don't. No.
That's not thinking ahead.
Now you're just imagining like a drow trying to load his crossbow. Poink. Oops. Oh, well. Oh, shit, it happened again.
It's the I shouldn't have licked it meme. Like,
I loved that. That was so good.
Yoshihiko.
So, no, it does not appear that these drow have anything on them other than their hand crossbows, their short swords, their chain shirts, and their thong bikini bottoms.
Well, you know, not that I don't want to have Jewel around because she's so entertaining. I have a feeling that the Kelemverites would be better at this, or maybe those Lathander assholes.
If we can avoid paying them 500 gold and you can do it instead, then that seems like a pretty good deal.
It's big money.
Is it though? I thought we were
The
like
material
super rich.
with the scroll.
I mean, I have thousands of gold. Don't worry about it.
You need to pay for the
Get it
business
done.
you're trying to run.
But I am trying to run a
You have
tavern.
suppliers you have to pay with that money.
I mean, I have several diamonds.
Okay, well, listen. So
No, I mean like Jewel was saying about having the material components. I have
Yes.
several
It's
diamonds.
gonna
So
take-
we've already paid the money. Would we not give them the material component?
well, you give them the material component and then pay them for their time.
Oh, that's
Have you never played an MMO before? You provide mats, then some gold, then I craft you whatever dumb thing you need.
Yeah.
Spirit of Wolf, 1 gold each.
We'll also
So,
have to,
yeah.
We'd also have to go back up 3 levels. Or
Yeah,
2
and
levels.
the scroll, you don't need the material component. That's a good point, chat.
Okay.
You use the material component when you create the scroll. So that diamond has already been...
Okay.
It's part of the ink.
Yeah, exactly.
It's diamond ink.
I think that I get up off of my ass and I brush off my breastplate and leather outfit or whatever it is. I don't know, robe. And then I look around just in time to see 8 stop pulverizing a corpse.
Yeah, my arm gets stuck in it. It comes out, and I reattach it.
And then I look just behind 8 and I see a captive audience. So why didn't we kill that one?
The one that's tied to the wall.
Yeah.
So let me give you a quick description of this one. So there is a male drow lashed to the wall. This one is not wearing a chain shirt, and so is just wearing like the Aquaman special, the like high-waisted thong uniform. Otherwise undressed. And so you can see that he is lithe and well muscled, especially in like the thighs. He has long white hair that is like matted with fear sweat now. He has a leather something or other jammed in his mouth. He definitely has both nipples pierced. Some kind of leather thing jammed in his mouth and his hands bound over his head, and he's chained to the wall. And you can see that he has scars on him that look like whip scars.
He was either very much a disappointing member of their group or incredibly worthy, depending on like which.
He's either the best drow or the worst drow. That's fair. That's very fair. It's true.
I'm surprised you were able to keep yourself from, well, destroying all living creatures in the room, 8. I wouldn't have expected to wake up after you did all of this.
Maybe I just hadn't gotten around to it yet.
Too bad. So should we talk to that fellow? They put a thing in his mouth that makes me feel like he had something worth saying.
I don't speak Undercommon.
Oh, well, I do.
Oh, well. Have at it.
Yeah, I was a very goth child.
I learned German so that I could
I had
understand.
posters of Drisdord.
So that I could exactly. I learned German in high school so that I could understand Rammstein better. You really don't appreciate it unless you listen to it in the original Deutsch.
My God. Stop.
I start picking my weapons back up.
I am
All
in
right, so
this
you go
photo
to
and
you
I do
covered in
not
drow
like
blood.
it.
You go to collect your weapons. Okay.
There was a door to this room too. And maybe we should block the door. Just a thing. And then I turn to this guy and like, can I remove his gag?
One of the giant spiders by the leg. Legs break. Like, get it by the head. Stop.
There's this dragging noise of giant spiders across the ground.
Yep. We've got a few of them in here.
Yeah, we got like 4, I think.
So you walk over to the sexy drow chained to the wall.
Gross. Yes.
Okay. He tries to get away from you, but there's nowhere to go. So he just kind of presses himself against the wall, like big, wide, purple eyes looking at you like, fuck, get away from me.
And I say in Undercommon, yes, good. You should be afraid of me.
He mumbles something into the gag.
I remove it.
Okay. You pull it out of his mouth, and he says, in Undercommon, he says, "Blessings of darkness upon you, milady. I swear my fealty to you, oh matriarch." And he like bows his head.
Rad. Why is it that you're chained to this wall and gagged? Are you just that annoying, or?
I failed my previous mistress, Lady
So did everyone
Teresa.
else in this room.
She, and he looks around, and he says, she demanded much of me. I could not give her what she desired, and so I was to be sacrificed to Lulth. Oh, what an end. But now I see a stronger force has come, and while you may not be a drow, I swear my undying fealty to you, mistress.
I mean, if you still want to be sacrificed, we could sacrifice you. That's totally within our purview.
He looks you up and down, and he shakes his head. No. A sacrifice of that nature requires a priestess of Lulth. I see that you serve a different deity, surface dweller. I'm
Yes,
sure
well,
I
it's
will
still
grow
a
to serve them.
sacrifice.
I will grow to serve them as well. Whoever they are, I'm sure they're most excellent.
I like poke at like one of his arms, like on like chained to the wall, and I'm like, well, seeing as we have someone who's much, much stronger than you, I don't think you'd be very valuable.
Fuck, you're so mean. He looks over at 8 in terror, and he says, I've never seen such a killing implement as that. Certainly, my great and gracious lady, you have no need for a swordsman or a blade, but and he looks around and he says, Mistress, Krenrak has other talents.
I wasn't just chained to the wall.
And he definitely gives you his best, I'm so scared I'm trying not to pee myself, but also look how sexy I am, like, eyes.
Who's Krenrak?
Those are some very specific eyes.
You know, he's like terrified, but he's trying to be hot, and it's not like he's trying, okay? And he says, if it pleases you, mistress, I am Krenrak, though you could call me whatever you wish. Any name would be fine. I understand the tongue of the Underdark. And then he switches and he says, but I speak the language of elves as well. But he has a drow accent, so it's kind of like hard to hear. Right. Chat has the perfect emotion for him right now. He's scaroused. Yeah.
Are you familiar with the terrain of this level and lower levels?
Well, wherever my former mistress went, I followed for a time.
And
until
were
I
you paying
displeased her.
attention?
He doesn't want to say no to you, but he says, I had many services I performed for Milady, but I was focused on
Lucaria
her
like
needs.
does a little
not-
like gross face. She's just like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else in the room who is currently alive can hear this conversation.
Except that it's in Undercommon, so actually.
He switched to
He can
Elven.
speak, yeah, he switched to Elven.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I know that one.
For that last like 2 sentences, he when I
It's
asked
been Elven
if he
since
knew
since he switched.
when I asked if he knew like any of the like layout or whatever, it was in Elven, so you would have been able to
If he
hear
can
that.
be of use to us, Lucaria, then why not? There's nothing else here.
I mean, I suppose if he can't be of use to us alive, he can be of use to me dead. So might as well bring him along.
Sure. Why
He
not?
can carry Jules' corpse. How about that?
No, you can't touch him.
So you wanna let him down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah!
The manacles are locked. There's a lock on them.
I mean, there's got to be a fucking key somewhere.
If
around here.
only there was someone in the party, somebody, anybody, just anybody at all who could pick locks. If only someone in this group were able to use the one of the few skills they had that they could use to unlock a lock that was locked without using the key.
Okay,
what a
well, it's going to be
miracle
at
that would
least
be.
2 hours. Okay.
Just more than a few skills.
Oh yeah, okay. I ripped the manacles out of the wall.
Sorry, make an athletics check, 8. So 8 just strides over, and Krenrak looks at you, Makari, like, no, please don't let him tear me apart.
I enjoy his terror.
Okay, good.
Oh no, 12.
8, you are unable to tear them from the wall. You reach up, like, "Argh!" but no, to no avail. They are hammered in there, much too hard for you to get them free.
Ugh. Well, I mean, it's not like we're in a hurry to get out of here.
He looks around and says, if, and he's speaking Elven now because he figures you're all from the surface, so maybe that would be a language you can understand. He says, among her many implements, my former mistress carried a ring of keys. If you found those, you could free me, and then I could serve you.
Troglodytes 8, huh?
Oh, okay. Well,
He opens his eyes like, why? And he's just like,
He can't understand me.
oh, that's right, because you don't speak Elven. Right, yeah, so. Okay.
I think that he says like, you know, lady name or something that we heard before, and that's how.
Yeah, and that's how I just work.
Ugh.
That's fine.
Well,
The way out
I'm
the giant spider. I can't go that way.
I'm frankly extremely tired, so you'll have to wait there. I'm sure it won't be too taxing.
Well, I believe
He's
the
not
keys-
going anywhere. He's got nothing to do.
outside. So
Well, I don't know exactly if we should continue farther into this place. What with, corpse and poison being what it is.
I mean, I don't think so either, which is why I'm saying don't move the body to get the keys to unlock this guy.
No.
8. It will be at least 2 hours of resting before I'll be able to do anything about Jewel. Do you want to, I don't know, do you have a potion or something? You're looking rougher than I've ever seen you, except for that one time.
No. I do not.
I think Jewel did.
I could wait an hour.
You want to take a short rest in here? There's a giant dead spider blocking the door now.
Yeah, I think we need to get
think we have
unpoisoned and
to.
everything, yeah.
8, can you make a perception check real quick for me?
Yeah. $17.
Okay, so when you're standing near this door, you can hear, not too far away on the other side, you can hear grunting and snarling and scratching. Not on the door that you're at, but at some other door. You can hear the troglodytes. It sounds like they're trying to get into a room or something.
Okay. I begin.
Oh, and when you hear that, you hear a crack and a splintering. And then I think probably you hear a scream. You hear a woman scream, and it's different than the one before. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I say, hand me that potion then. Something's still happening outside.
Can we roll initiative real quick? I just want to see, because it does,
Like when everything happens.
it does
yeah.
matter the order in which these things occur.
Okay.
For anyone who is conscious, I'm sorry that you're dead, Lauren. We'll get you back in a second.
We're doing our best.
Yep.
The great thing about higher level D&D.
Y'all are super entertaining, so this is great.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So, 8, you are there when this round begins. Rin, what do you want to do?
8 had feelings. I loved it.
I was going to get the potion from Jewel's pocket. So
Okay. So you can crouch down and take that potion out as part of your move action. If you can get over there.
I can.
Okay.
Assuming the corpses are not like.
Yeah. No, they're not difficult terrain or anything. That's
All
fine.
right, cool. So yeah, I grabbed the potion from Jewel's bag.
Okay. So you now have Jules' potion. Yep.
Potion is this.
Yeah. Is it? Are you gonna drink it?
I was gonna give it to 8, but
Okay.
because they need it more than I do. But I can't do anything else this turn then.
I'm pretty far
Yeah,
away.
I mean, you still move. You can move again or take another action or whatever because you.
I took all my movement.
Oh, it took all
again.
your move to get there. Okay. All right. 8. What are you gonna do?
I start moving the spider out of the way again. Because
Okay.
I'm a bit like,
Yeah, and you can just drag him as part of your move action. So just move him out of the way. Okay.
Okay, and I have my shield on, and I have my javelin back. I'm back at tip-top fighting shape, just 2 hit points.
Just with 2 hit points. Perfect.
Yeah, and I open the door to
Okay.
see what's going on.
Yeah, so you pull the door open. You can see kind of across from you down here. You can see where the what were they called? Grimlocks, where the Grimlocks came from. You can see the troglodytes, and they have used their claws to break open a wooden door that was formerly barred. I think the bar is still there, but they've broken the panels off the door. And behind them, in that room, let me clear the dynamic lighting layer for you. You see a woman. She is wearing like prisoner's rags, basically. She appears to be a. Let's see. She appears to be an elf. She has black hair that probably is like nicely cut, but is a mess right now, so it's all kind of tangled. But it's got like the fairly severe bangs and then like long black hair, and it shines blue when you like shine your light on her. Though actually, let's talk about light. How are you seeing? You have a torch in your hand?
I
It's either the shield or the torch.
thought it was the shield.
No, because the light spell on the shield is gone, and the continual light is gone. Nobody has cast light again.
You
Could
lit a
Macaria
torch.
But you had a
Good.
torch lit, so Macaria wouldn't have lit a new one for you. Or I wouldn't have cast the spell necessarily.
So I guess
You did collect all your weapons. You said you did, so you might
I
have the mace, the glowing mace.
yeah, I've got the mace. I've got the mace out in my
Okay.
shield.
All right, that sounds good. So the mace is glowing as long as you're wielding it. Okay. And you can see, yeah, so the mace is the light from the mace shines on her just briefly. She screams when they break the thing and she falls back into the cell. Yeah, and so she's like in the back corner, and that's what you see when you come through the door.
Okay. So I was here. 10. So I've got enough to move up to the.
Yeah, you've got enough to move to 1. Yep.
Let's bonk him.
Down here to the south of you, you just see like a splatter. There's just like torn rags and blood.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you come up
Same
and just
color robe as the one.
swing the mace down,
13 bludgeoning damage.
and you kill it. Just one swing, just crush the troglodyte skull. The other troglodyte turns like, wow, what the hell?
And I step to the next one, then I try and do the same.
Do you have enough move to move all the way there? Because you were like here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they're
that should
in
be
there.
fine.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, it's a big door. Okay, and you get one more swing. Is that hit?
20 again. 10.
10. Okay. All right. So it's still alive.
I mark it as well.
Perfect. The woman in the cell, screaming in panic. The elf woman. The troglodyte turns as much in surprise as anything else and attacks you.
Okay.
All right. A bite for 13. A claw. I get a 20.
Mm-mm. Got my shield
And the
back.
second claw, they pretty much just has to crit. I got a 6. Okay. All right. Macaria, you hear the sounds of 8 doing a fight.
Well, I can't really. Well, I guess I can toll the dead. Okay. Does hopping down require a check?
No.
Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Don't get yourself killed in there, I say, sounding extremely like not sarcastic at all. Just definitely serious.
Okay. And that's it?
Yeah, that's
Or
all I
60
got.
feet?
Can't
Okay.
see anything.
Rin?
Just moving right now. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to there, and then the same again.
Okay.
To there. And
Okay.
that is my turn.
All right. 8. Get this guy. Get this nerd out of the way.
Mace this. No.
Maced!
That's a miss. Has a 15.
That's a hit. There you go. Deal him
Okay.
literally any amount of... Okay,
13.
killed. There you go. All right, so you take out the second troglodyte, and this woman back here, she looks up, and it's just like things have gone from bad to worse because there's now some kind of like killer golem, and she's just like she's not
She's
gonna
like,
attack you, but she's
Whatever
terrified.
color I was before, I am now red.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I say, yep, you are relatively safe now in common.
You'll forgive me if I don't feel particularly safe. Who are you?
I killed all of the drow and the grimlocks and the troglodytes and the spiders. My name is 8.
You killed all the drow.
Presumably there are more not in this place. I don't think that was enough to be genocide. As disappointing as that might be.
But all of them that were in that room back there?
Yes. Well, the woman was eaten by the troglodytes, who I then killed. So,
Right, and this woman, what did she look like?
yeah, and I walk over to her like,
and there's
corpse.
nothing. There's like some chewed bones that have been like snapped and had the marrow sucked out. There's just this dark stain, this like slick, like wet mess of like clothes.
Yeah, like they probably wouldn't have eaten the rags, so like I take like part of the rope. Well, if they didn't,
There'd be
that's fine.
chunks. Yeah, you could find some, like you could try to dig through it, but yeah, they would just shovel like meat into their hands, like rip, like yeah.
No, that's fine. It was just for flavor instead
Yeah.
of like saying her name. And
So maybe you look for a piece of evidence. You're like, she's a stain.
Well, she used to have white robes. She was a priestess of Lolth. I already forgot her name. It was very chaotic in that there were a lot of drow.
Her name was Teresa Avrindar.
Yes.
And you killed her manservants too?
I think we're keeping one for questioning.
And are you here to kill me?
I don't even know who you are.
Good point. Give me a hand. She puts a hand out to like help me up because she's sitting.
Yep. I put the shield away. And
I'm assuming it's been more than 6 seconds. Like we could be at the door.
Oh yeah,
by
you
now,
can keep
right?
moving and stuff. Yeah, the
Yeah,
combat's over. Yeah, it was just to see.
Alright.
Honestly, it was just to see if the troglodytes would take 8 out.
So another not corpse.
So you see a woman who is clearly like a prisoner. She's wearing like dirty rags, basically.
I
But-
hand ate a potion.
But as you help her up, the rest of you can see she's a moon elf, right? She has like faintly bluish skin, like where like a white person would blush kind of pink. It's blue for her. She has like ice, like grayish blue eyes, black hair that normally look like she looks like she'd be put together, but she's a mess right now. She's got some dirt on her face. And she stands and kind of like brushes herself off, and she looks at you, 8, and she says, well, thank you for dealing with those troglodytes. They looked hungry.
yes, well, I suppose you're welcome.
Should we get back in the room that we can block?
Yes, we should. Please.
So when you say that, she says to 8 in common, "Oh, you're not alone."
No, I have 3 companions. One is currently dead.
She switches. Makaria, is Common or Elvish your first language?
She learned Elvish when she was like a toddler, and then her parents died, and she was taught in Common for the rest of the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you probably wouldn't have.
She doesn't have an accent.
You wouldn't
no.
have like an Elvish accent. Okay. And Makaria looks more human than elf, right?
I mean, yeah, right now with her, like her hair's got it's black, but it's brown black, not blue black. And she
Are
probably
you?
has like
And we talked about this before. Are you half moon elf or half gold elf?
moon elf, yeah.
Okay, and then Rin.
I'm half like high elf or whatever the equivalent is. The like.
Oh god, I can never remember that because the Forgotten Realms flips them.
Yeah,
Are you a sun elf or a moon elf? Are you a gold
I
elf
think
or a
high elf
silver
is
elf?
the gold elf.
I think it's gold.
High elf
Yeah, I
is-
think you're both. So you're both half gold elves.
No, I'm moon.
You're moon. Okay. All right. I think that's what I thought. Yeah, because Rin has like slightly more tan skin, and Makaria looks more
Yeah.
like a goth.
Yeah,
Okay.
Makaria is extremely pale, but still like it could be human pale. But there's definitely like the point to her ears. But they're like, is her hair up? Is her hair down? Can you see her ears? Like, who knows, right?
Yeah. Okay. So she just says, so she doesn't follow up. She says, you're not alone. To you, 8.
No, 3 companions. One who's currently dead. though I am assured that it's not going to stay that way. And I turn back to Makaria.
And she peers out of the door and she sees Rin and Makaria, and she smiles slightly and she says, in Elvish, she says, it's like a formal greeting in Elvish that you would give to half elves, but not in like a you're only half an elf way. Like it's not rude. Like there's an Elvish.
I think there is definitely a formal reply.
Yeah.
To this that would be the polite way to respond, and Rin is like expert at exactly that. It's precise.
Right, because they use the Telkasir refers to the people, which are the elves. There must be some other way to refer to half elves as being like, like shadow of the moon or like people of the people, right? Like there's some honorific. And yeah, so she says it, and then you give her the like.
Yeah, whatever the rote reply is to this, that would be the most polite.
Okay.
I feel like Makaria, because Rin is so polite, she just basically says like sup.
But in Elven?
Well, yeah, but like the direct opposite of being polite, just being incredibly casual.
She raises a single eyebrow at you, Spock-esque, like, oh, okay, I see how it is. And she gets a look at the three of you, and she, and then she says, well, I'd invite you in, but my room's kind of a mess and I don't have any furniture, so.
I mean, and we do the same, but our room is full of spider webs and dead people. So.
Is that the corpse of the lady? And I'm just gonna like completely
Everybody turns
ignore.
to look at the stain.
I'm gonna completely ignore everything that's happening. Does she have like the key to the thing that we were just talking about, or is it in some
Yes.
troglodyte's belly?
I as you're doing that, Makaria, I'd say one of these two, and I kick the two troglodytes I just killed.
So let me see what Teresa Alvrindar has on her.
Magic.
I am not above knifing open a belly
See,
of
the
a
thing is,
troglodyte.
if she had anything magic, she'd be using it. She would have used it on you, right? If she had any magic items.
Probably.
But she does not. She doesn't have any magic armor or magic.
This dungeon that promised us many satchels full of cool magical loot has had like.
I know, right? It's kind of like loot
I got
light.
a mask of Halaster's face.
You do have your cool Halaster mask. So Teresa, no, the only item of value that Teresa Alvrindar has on her is her key ring. So.
Okay, well, I mean, I take that because we were just talking about it.
Yeah, she doesn't have it on her though. It's missing.
Well, 8 just said that it's probably on one of these two troglodyte corpses. So I just go directly over to like right in front of this lady and I take my dagger and I cut open the esophagus of this
She takes
troglodyte.
a step back so as not to get stinky blood all over. She takes a step back and like, whoa. And yeah, you cut open the troglodyte and find in the troglodyte's belly, you do indeed find a.
I mean, it's probably still in its esophagus. You don't digest things that fast.
I don't know what like a troglodyte. I think it just shovels it all into.
The keyring would get stuck. It would be like half poking
in
out
its
back.
gullet somewhere.
Well, I get it.
Yeah, so you dig it out. The key ring has on it, I think, 2 keys. Let's see.
It's almost as useless as mine.
It has a ring of iron. Oh, actually, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 keys on it. No, 9 keys.
Sick.
Yeah, 9 iron keys. And the woman that you just like saved, she watches you, and she says, "Oh, well, there they are. You're not going to be needing one of those." And she ducks under the like shattered remnants of the barred door.
Right.
And she comes out and looks around, and she says, she looks at you, 8, to go to like shake your hand, and then sees you're covered in blood, and she puts her hands up like, I hope. I'm
fine.
quite filthy enough as it is. And she looks down. She doesn't have any shoes. And she says, Lady Alvrindar took everything that I own when she found me in the dungeon. So somewhere out there is my fucking spell book, and maybe some other things that belong to me. I appreciate
check
your.
my inventory here.
I appreciate
Yeah, I
your
remember
rescue.
you finding a spell.
I
book.
have a set of fine clothes that I withdraw from my backpack,
Shit.
which I assume includes shoes.
Yeah, fuck it, sure.
And
isn't
burning wheel
this isn't
shoes are
burning wheel.
separate.
And then neatly folded, offer them out to her.
And
She just said spell book, so I'm in full
yeah. So she.
Oh yeah,
grins-
wizard worship.
She grins at you, and I think she takes a step forward to pick it up. Make a charisma saving throw. I'm using these as like first impression rolls,
Okay.
but do with advantage because you have a gift for her.
Oh, this should be a good one then. I got good charisma.
You
saving.
get to kiss the elf.
22.
Wow. So she. She looks. She takes a step forward and she looks at them and she grins and she says, "You just carry fine clothes around everywhere in case you find some beautiful elf woman tied up in a drow cell somewhere."
Wow, calling her own self beautiful.
Shut up,
Fucking, I see
Makaria.
how it is.
Well,
Literally everyone in the dungeon says "Shut up, Makaria" at the same time. It's like a Muppet Show joke where we just go from scene to scene of like various, like one of the dead drows like "Shut up, Makaria," and we just go eventually down to Halaster and he's just like, "Yeah, shut up, Makaria."
No,
and
Halaster
then
would
we
be
come
into it. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So
anyway.
I think the response to that is, well, usually they're for me, having to be prepared and all, but I think I can make the exception.
And she takes them from you and she tucks them under her hand and she smiles and she says, "Oh, you don't need them. You look fine, but you got a little." And she leans over and she like wipes a smudge of blood off your face with her thumb, and then she smiles and she's like, "There we go."
I
Now,
am behind her and I make like a
Rin is doing some serious like anime blushing right now.
Yep. Okay. Rin, mark inspiration.
Yeah.
And so this woman who I don't think she's introduced herself yet, and she realizes that, and she says, "Well, I go back in my cell and change, but well, the door's been ripped off by troglodytes. Is there somewhere around here a lady can get some privacy?"
you could
I
crawl
say-
over that giant spider corpse
I could stand in the doorway.
or that.
And
Why don't we just move back a
yeah,
little?
she smiles and she's just like does the little like "Hurry, turn around" gesture, and she goes past 8 and she pats you on the shoulder, and as she's changing, she says, we get the occasional shot of like a freckled shoulder or like whatever, and as she's changing behind 8, she says, "I thought I was gonna die. I mean, eventually everybody dies. We don't really think about it that much, because elves, but."
I think about it all the time.
She doesn't know that. And she says, I was pretty sure that awful drow was going to just cut me up. But hey, thanks for rescuing me. I owe you one. Not much use right now, but. And then she steps out from behind 8, and she this is totally like the Disney princess reveal. Like she just looks like fucking beautiful. She's a vision of beauty down here in the dungeon. And she steps out and she does a little like curtsy and she says, "But if I'm gonna die in the dungeon, at least I can die looking nice. I'm
Better than not.
Yeah." And she says, "I didn't catch any of your names. I was too busy being excited about, being rescued. I'm Marta Moonshadow."
Rin Stillwater. Pleasure.
And she gives you like a little nod, and she turns to you, 8, and she says, "That's no suit of armor, but you're no mere construct, are you? What do they call you?"
8.
She shrugs.
That is what they call them.
Fair enough.
That's what I call me. For now.
And I guess she like leans around the corner because it looks like, what are you doing, Makari? You're just over there pouting.
I mean, I had grabbed the things, and everyone was like, "Oh, turn around to look at
Oh, and
me."
you haven't. Oh, I was gonna say, you
Makaria
haven't
just
freed
like walked off.
Krenrak yet. Right. So you're just having a hissy fit because there's a cuter girl than you in the party now.
Yeah. No, everyone was paying attention to someone that's not Makaria, whether the attention is good or bad. And so she's like, I don't like her.
Marta looks over at Makaria and just gives your back this like, look like
disgusting.
Yeah, guess who's in charge now? And so she just looks at you like, all right, if you're gonna be sulky, that's fine.
I mean, Makaria is very young. Okay.
Yeah. And so she looks at you, Rin, and she says, you don't look very well. I mean, besides the fighting, you look a bit sick. Is it the poison?
Drow poison. Yeah, not wonderful, but hopefully not permanent.
She nods. It'll
I've
pass.
never been afflicted by drow poison before.
Give it an hour or so. You're lucky it didn't knock you out altogether.
I did, actually. The only reason we made it out of any of that was because of 8.
Well, we have that in common, Rin. Well, the sickness will pass. She looks behind her at the smear, and she's like, is there somewhere safe we can rest a minute? I need to collect my thoughts.
Let's go back into the main chamber, and we can block the door with some of the heavier...
Okay.
Corpses.
What is a polite way to say? Some of the heavier rubbish.
Perfect. Okay. So so she follows you back into that other room. 8. Do you go back in with them?
Yeah. And I start remaking this.
The barricade.
Corpse barricade.
Take like a second. I get some of the spears out here, and I put drow heads on them and stuff. And
Damn.
One sides of the door, just to be like, don't come in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that, and then I come back in, and I start remaking the barricade after I close the door.
Okay. All right. So, meanwhile, Makaria, you come back in the room, and Krenrak sees you, and he says from his exalted position on the wall, "Did you find the keys?"
Why, yes, I did.
Oh, most glorious mistress, thank you.
I
Please.
also found another captive. Do you know anything about that moon elf?
So Marta comes up behind you.
Gross.
Krenrak looks at Marta, and Marta looks at Krenrak, and I need you to make an insight check.
I should be good at this, but classically I'm not. So let's see how this goes.
Take your revenge.
17.
An agreed upon silence passes between the two of them before Marta and Krenrak almost in unison say, I've never seen them before in my life.
Well, as we won't be going anywhere for about an hour, so I'm sure you could just hang there.
And he says, but an hour, milady.
I take the chain and I look through the keys and I'm just like,
yeah. And he says, but milady, resting an hour. If you leave me tied up here, I can't serve you.
You can't serve me
yes.
if you don't tell me the
Serve
truth.
you.
Yeah, but milady, it's very difficult to whatever if I'm stuck
I
on this wall.
cannot run my hands across your body.
And and Marta is just like biting her lip, and she's really excited that it's Makaria that's in this position because she's just like,
You can't serve me if you conceal things from me either.
And Krenrak, he says, but my mistress, you have peeled away all deception from my mind.
I will peel away your skin. Tell me.
Make an intimidation check.
It's not going to go well.
Elvish or in Undercommon?
I mean, it would whatever language. Probably, I don't know.
You can't tell if Marta understands. I assume Krenrak defaults to Undercommon unless somebody speaks to him in another language, because he's drowned.
Okay, so it would be Undercommon then.
Yeah.
Do I have inspiration?
Marta, you can't tell if she understands him or not.
I don't have inspiration. Probably, I get a 9.
So you intend to intimidate him, but instead you just do exactly the same thing. Like he's just like, Yes, heap your scorn upon me, milady. It is all I am good for.
Oh no.
And honestly, like being threatened to have his skin ripped off is foreplay for this dude, right?
Yeah,
He was a
yeah.
drow pleasure concubine for a long time, so.
Yeah, that's yep.
So he probably,
Okay.
when you're like, I will cleanse the skin from your back, he shudders and he is just like, thank you, milady.
Gross.
Yeah, right? This is what happens when Makaria meets someone who's grosser than she is. So Rin, Marta Moonshadow has gotten bored of this exchange.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and Marta comes back over to talk to you.
Okay.
And so while Makaria is harassing Krenrak, Marta comes over and she gestures with her head and she's like, "What's with the teenager?"
Merkel.
Merkel.
Mm.
Is that her name? That's an unfortunate
No, that's
name.
Just the god she worships. Death.
She literally looks at you, blinks hard a couple of times, puts her hands out, shakes her head slightly, and says, "I don't know him."
I don't know him either.
He's dead.
When you say that, Marta looks up and she says, "Oh, did you kill him?"
No.
I hear the word Merkel
Uh-huh.
and I turn around and I'm just like, he is not dead. And you'll all know that when I allow you to be sent to the grave.
I raise a hand.
So, but hold on, before you say or do anything, there's a moment where after you deliver that scornful line, in the background, we just hear a Now, Rin, please.
I was gonna say I raise my hand in a C.
Yeah, and Marta just nods like, kids.
Kids these days.
Yeah.
Kids in there.
And she turns back to you, Rin, and she says, so did you just get lost on your way to Skullport, or?
Not exactly. It's been more of a, see what we can find down here sort of venture. Not as successful as I'd like, and I have business on the surface and debts to repay, so if I can find anything valuable down here, that would be great.
She nods and and says, right, valuable in this mess. Nothing on the first 2 levels, I presume?
And nothing that we found. Well, I dig through, I find the wand that's just like a glass wand that I have, and put it away, and I tap the circlet. Few things, but not much.
Yeah, and she gets in real close, and somehow, despite the fact that she's been a prisoner of the drow for a long time, she still smells like lilies in a moon-kissed meadow.
Of course.
So she steps a little close to you to get a look at it. And she leans in, and I think, she probably reaches up to hold your face still so that she can get a good look at the magic circlet. And she looks at it and she nods, exhales slightly, leans back, and she says, "It's beautiful. You found that in here?"
Yes, in some goblin stores, she says, trying to maintain professional composure.
She chuckles and she says, "We're meeting in the middle. I came from below, up top. I was doing some business in Skullport," and she gestures.
So you headed back to the surface then?
I was mapping the tunnels between Skullport and the surface. I understand there's a cavern in we're under Waterdeep. Is that right?
Yes.
Wait, gross. She's flirting with Ren and she's useful.
So
Disgusting.
she says it's funny. We're below the city, but I've never been there. Is that where you're from?
You're thinking about the Yawning portal. It's the entrance to this place from above. You've never been there? Where
she shakes
are
her
you
head.
from?
I'm Tetherian, originally. I mean, I'm Elvish, but I lived in Tethir. I use a portal to get back and forth to Skullport. I have business dealings there, but She rolls her eyes. I shouldn't have left.
Yeah, and if you have a map from here to Skullport, it's very valuable information for us.
Less a map and more a boat. I paid someone to drop me off. Obvious hubris, thinking I could just talk my way past whatever I... And when I had my spell book, yeah, it was more than talk, but now...
Speaking of spell book, where did you lose it? Do you know where it might be? Did these drow take it from you, or...
You remember that bluish smear outside?
Yeah.
She had it, last I saw.
Okay, well, we didn't find it, unfortunately.
Yes, we haven't seen where they keep their valuables yet, unfortunately.
There may be somewhere. We didn't even know that you were in that chamber back there, so there might be somewhere else where they're storing things.
I'm not the only prisoner down here. And I don't just mean that quivering mass over there. And when we cut back, Makaria, what are you and Krenrak doing?
I feel like she can't, like, she wants to do something to distract from this like flirtation going on, but she can't actually move herself to get closer to that guy because he's making weird sex noises and it's disgusting.
It's your fault.
I mean, she didn't know that was going to be the reaction. She doesn't exactly pal around with drow. Like, that's not...
Yeah, Drow is different. Drow is a salty Polish guy.
Okay.
These are Drow. Drow are
Makaria
underground
also
elves.
doesn't pal around with a salty Polish guy. So...
All right. So you're just standing there, like, frustrated?
I feel like she probably, like, kicks a corpse and goes over to, like, rummage in Jules' bags.
Okay. All right. So Krenrak is just hanging there. Marta looks over and she says quietly so that Makaria can't hear, what are we going to do with that drow over there? But when she says drow, she uses the elvish word.
Like Thrail.
Yeah, the like harsh one that is like not people, like,
Yeah.
you know, the evil word for drow.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, he can't be trusted, but if he can be useful, he can be useful. And you got to use whatever resources you can find down here.
I could kill him if you want.
It hardly seems fair, but I mean, you know how these things are. You can't trust them.
And Bryn's like, that is fair. That's a fair assessment, you know, like, nodding along, like, yep.
Well, whatever we decide, we need to rest a short time and bring our friend back to life.
Yes.
Perhaps she would like to take her vengeance herself. I wouldn't want to deny of her of that.
Certainly getting her back would be the primary move.
We spent a long time talking and fighting, and all she's been doing is lying there dead. I feel a little bad for her.
The meta conversation, like.
That's fine.
I mean, we're gonna take a rest.
So you're gonna take a
right?
short rest?
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
please.
Short rest. Now, because you're bringing Jewel back to life, Jewel, I'm going to give you your cut of the experience. I won't just be like, well, you're dead, so you don't get any. Because this isn't that kind of Dungeons and Dragons game. And there is a lot to be had. So, my dear friends, hold fast while I do a bunch of math.
Okay.
So
So-
roll, see if it succeeds.
Well, the thing is that first we
You
have to do the rest
first.
so that
At the
I'm not
end of the
poisoned.
rest, you
And then
can-
at the end of the rest,
Sorry.
I have to do a 1 hour spell.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see. Did I leave the corpse of that shadow demon on the floor over here somewhere? I did not. Okay. All right, so let's see. I think it was his ability. Yeah, here we go. Oh, it's just
Take
called a
the
shadow
potion.
demon.
Was the potion that Jewel had consumed?
I haven't used it yet. I've still got it now that I didn't
Okay,
actually.
cool. Well, then you can keep track of it. It's not mine anymore.
How much XP are you worth, shadow demon? There it is. Okay, shadow demon.
And for chat, we don't have a Revivify scroll. I have Revivify, but no spell slots. What we have is a Raise Dead scroll, which is why I need to make a Wisdom check to be able to use it, because it's a 5th level spell.
Unless we level up all
I guess we're going to the surface to resurrect Jewel the long way.
Yes, yeah, that is also possible. All right.
Yeah, that's the like secondary choice, right?
We're in the back of holding. I think you have like 10 days to do resurrect. So
Yeah.
We have 10 days to do Raise Dead. Yeah.
Here we go. Quaggoth.
Gross, like rotted Jewel corpse.
Ugh,
Like,
dead. You're literally carrying around a dead cat in a
in
bag.
9.5 days. Is this still good?
Times 5, 6, 7 Quaggoths. Okay. All right. And then 5 Grimlocks. This is the most kills in one like kill listing we've had so far. So
You're
that's-
welcome.
These guys suck. Grimlock's only worth 50 each.
I could cast Gentle Repose as a ritual, but like it doesn't matter unless I'm like failing on the Raise Dead check.
Yeah, we'll do the Raise Dead first. Okay, and then 3 giant spiders. Maybe 4? How many giant spiders? 4 giant spiders?
I think it's 4.
It's 4, yep.
One
I
of
see
them
'em.
is up in the tunnel.
That's right. Yep. Okay. 4 giant spiders.
Yep.
1 partridge, 1 pear tree. Drow.
9 cold rings. 1,000 GP each.
Drowsels. Where are these guys? Here we go.
Oh, it's just an action to cast the scroll. It doesn't take an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, the hour
it's a
was used
scroll.
in making the scroll. Okay.
So
Sick.
50 times. How many drow were there? 6.5. Okay, so. And then half of Teresa, because she mostly got killed by troglodytes. And also, Jesus, this encounter was like really built for characters that are not resistant to poison. Because poison was the thing that took out most of you. So 8, your ability to deflect it was very helpful in this case.
Look, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Warforged are the best. Robots are cool.
False. Kobolds are the best.
Well, it depends on whether you're talking about in caves or out of caves. I think it was clearly established that kobolds were best in caves.
Yeah.
I read a sign that said that. Okay, and then lastly, 4 troglodytes. And then I will add it all up, and I will hand out your XPs. So, times 4 of those. Okay, now, calculator, do your job. Plus that guy, and that, and this, and that one, and this guy, and then this thing, and then lastly those. Okay, divided by 4. 2,756 experience. 2756, please.
2756.
27.
Ba-doop.
Okay, 2756, and all of those things have been murdered and turned in. Everybody who was poisoned, you are now not poisoned.
Nice.
Cool.
You can spend whatever hit dice you have remaining to
Hooray.
heal.
So-
Plus Rin heals you all for the bonus like Song of Rest, right?
Oh, 1d6. Okay.
Everybody gets that.
Is it a D6 or does it
I think
upgrade?
it's a D6. I don't think it upgrades. Not yet, anyway.
Song of Rest. Let me look and see if it's in the compendium.
It's at 9th level that it becomes a D8.
Ah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I appreciate it.
I don't have a page number, but evidently I do need a whole hour to cast this.
Yeah, sorry. When I look things up, don't come with page numbers anymore.
Casting
actually,
Casting a spell by reading the scroll requires the spell's normal casting time. Okay.
Sorry,
you go.
it does have a page reference. It's in the basic rules, page 200.
There you go. Thank you.
But I'll probably know with like in a second if I can read it or not.
Okay.
Because that's what the wisdom check is basically.
Yes, yeah. Whether or not you were able to channel the magic of the spell. Okay, so the hour passes. Do you leave Krenrak just tied to
I mean,
the fucking wall?
I
Yes.
do, and I have the keys, so yes.
I spend the whole hour in conversation with Martha. If
Okay,
she,
so at the end of the hour, Krenrak is like moaning in pain. He's trying to keep it to himself, but he's just like,
Gross.
his poor arms.
Can I have it? Can I attempt to intimidate him into telling me again?
No.
Because no,
No, nothing has changed. You failed your intimidation, so.
I mean, but like the leverage was that he needed to tell me or he was going to stay there, and then he stayed there, and now.
Yeah,
Like,
you
my
failed,
threat
you failed the
was-
roll, but nothing else has changed, right?
Well, but I fulfilled my threat. I'm not like it wasn't an empty threat, right? Like that. I feel
If
like
you
that's
want to
a
try to
change.
intimidate him into doing something different, you can, but you can't. Circumstances have to change deeply to intimidate him to do the same thing, right? Like otherwise, we're in that situation where it's like,
I could try
give
to
me your lunch.
persuade
No,
him instead.
give me your lunch. No, give me your lunch. I got a 20. He gives you your lunch.
Well, it's like, give me your lunch or I'm going to hit you. No, you won't. And then you hit them. And then they're like, oh.
Yeah, and then he's like, okay, cool. What are you gonna do? Hit me again?
Right. Anyway, instead, can I like, everyone's talking or whatever. I'm going to go over and just like whispering an undercommon and be like, I heard them talking about killing you.
He is not looking so good. He's kind of like, his eyes are kind of like, he's not really tracking you when you walk over. He makes no, there's no evidence he hears you. And he just like moans like in pain again. He's still all like sweaty.
So he's not responsive at all.
No, not really. Like maybe he hears you and kind of looks in your direction, but something's wrong with this dude.
Can I do a medicine check on him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I do that. Medicine. Oh, I don't have advantage. 26.
Okay. All right. So you like look at his. We saw his face, like pale as, you know, his he like moans a little bit. His mouth's all dry and pasty. And as you continue to look at him, you can see that like his chest, he's taking like big, like struggling to breathe, taking these big breaths. But as you get closer, like you look follow down his chest, you can see his stomach. At first looks normal, and then you see like a bulge kind of like appears on one side, and then he's like, and it's just subtle. You see something move under his skin.
Oh, great.
Run.
Like running over. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he has something inside of him.
It's probably
If
spine.
And
If you
he
wa-
says in Undercommon, he says, he like gasps out, Mother Wolf.
Oh God, there's spiders.
Blesses me.
It's spiders. Can you please?
Yeah, I
Do you
start
have any
pouring oil.
fire?
I'm pouring oil. on.
So you start pouring oil on him, and he moans in pain and religious joy, and then you hear a crack, and you
light it
look
on
down, you
fire.
see his ribs like deform, and you want to just like throw a torch on him.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of your 7 torches is burned out. This will use another one.
That's fine.
Okay, so you huck another torch. I assume. So what were you doing for light during the rest?
I would have asked it to be reapplied because like
And you
have continual light prepared, Makaria?
No, I could put light on.
Okay,
his
so
shield.
the light spell lasted the short rest. This torch, if you put it out, if you use it to burn him, you'll only last as long as he burns. Then you'll have to do one more. So just
I
mark off 2 torches.
I
that's
can cast a light spell on his shield.
Yeah, it only
again.
lasts an hour is the thing. So anyway, you throw the torch on Krenrak, who bursts into flames and then bursts open, and baby giant spiders like pour out of him on fire. In a splattering of his intestines ripping, and he just kind of his guts fall on the ground and immediately burst into flame. The little spiders like shriek and like curl up, and he dies with a look of horrific pain on his face. And Marta looks up at this whole thing and then turns to you, Rin, and she says, "Oh, so that's how they make more drow."
That's not. He wasn't a drow. That was spiders.
You didn't hear that. She said it quietly.
I know, but like still.
Rin
She's
gives her
being
like
racist. Yeah. Anyway, this guy, Krenrak's toast. He's very dead. He died.
now can we revive Ren?
You mean Jewel?
Rin's fine.
I'm
Sorry.
revived.
Mhm.
Sorry.
You though.
Yes, of course. Do you want to do this surrounded by corpses or?
Isn't that like the best place to do your magic?
Yeah, actually.
You
So
probably
I'm
get-
assuming that Jewel, Lauren, you're giving me your inspiration for this.
Heck yeah, I am. That one time
Okay.
Adam said everyone on the internet had inspiration.
That's true. I did say that.
So
Can
it's
you
a
cast guidance on yourself?
yes, I can. It's a DC 15 wisdom save. Let me.
Yeah, hang on, because I don't think this is a skill check.
Yeah, like what kind of thing
You
is
must
it?
make an ability check using a spellcasting ability to.
So it's an ability check.
It's an ability check.
So this does not. Guidance would not help you.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Is it a saving throw?
No. It's one of these very rare
You
ability
don't
checks.
You don't have inspiration.
No. It says here guidance can roll to the ability check of its choice.
Oh, there you go. I thought guidance was for skill checks anyway, but yeah,
Also,
that's
if
fine.
you don't have inspiration, I give you mine.
No, I've got Lauren.
So guidance is for any ability check, including skill checks. God, nested terminology.
Okay,
Are
so
you
it's
grappled? Are you incapacitated? Are you unconscious? Are you all
okay.
three?
So am I clicking the same button as doing a saving throw?
But you have no proficiency bonus. So you're going to be rolling. Are you?
So just
or
plus
do you
4
have
then.
proficiency? It's your wisdom plus.
Do I have proficiency for an
Yeah, skill
ability
checks
check?
don't really exist. They're kind of the same thing. The game's just a little weird about how it says it. Okay, so
Because I have
read-
proficiency in wisdom saves, but does that mean
it's
that I
not
have?
a save. It's not a saving throw. No proficiency for. It's just
Okay, so it's just plus 4. All right, so I'll roll the guidance
is
first.
It? Let me look at the thing. Let me read the roll.
Yeah.
Well, I'll roll the guidance
Well,
first.
don't
'cause that-
roll. Yeah, don't worry. Let me just check. I think it's just your wisdom modifier, but let me look.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm
An
also
ability
gonna-
check using your spellcasting ability. So yeah, it does sound like it is just your wisdom bonus and no other thing, except in this case, a D4 from guidance.
So I'm also going to give you a bardic inspiration,
Yeah.
which is a D8
Okay.
that you can use on ability checks. So it's fine. Also,
It would be really unfortunate if this.
Okay, well, I add 4 to
So you're-
this.
Yeah, so you're adding 8.
No, I add 4.
Oh yeah, right. Adding 8 total to the die roll, but you get an 18.
So I get an 18, so I can cast the spell.
Yeah, so you're able to
Yeah.
cast the spell.
So I take the scroll out of my scroll case
Mhm.
and I look at it.
Yeah.
And there's like a moment where
And like, did we talk about what, like, 'cause this is an ancient scroll, right?
it's
Did
an
we
ancient
did we talk about-
Merkleite scroll
Yes, it's an ancient Merkleite scroll.
of Raised Dead.
Yeah.
So like there's a moment where she looks at it and it like kind of swims before her eyes and she's like, wait a second, am I not going to be able to read this? And then it becomes clear thanks to the guiding hand of Merkel and also some stupid violence. Definitely more the guiding hand of Merkel.
wow. Definitely more the violins by the roll.
Yeah. More violins for sure.
I mean, but it would have been possible with only the guiding hand of Merkel. Just let
Yeah.
Makaria believe what she wants to
That's
believe.
fine. She's
okay?
allowed to
Alright,
believe
whatever,
whatever she
nerd. Just
wants.
discount my entire assistant. I'll
Right.
remember that for next
You do
time.
that to me all the time. Okay, anyway, so it takes me an hour. But I just sit there with Jules' head in my lap and like it's
Oh my
kind
god,
of
it's
like
just Pet Cemetery. Like, she's just dirty and she's your
Can
dead
we-
cat and you're
can
bringing
we
your
not-
dead cat back to
Can
life.
we, Adam, can we not?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So you cast the spell.
and I feel like you see like 1,000 tiny like skeletal hands like reach out and grasp what looks like the outline of Jules' body but in the air, and then they pull it in. Like that's why it takes an hour. They're like pulling her hovering spirit back into her body,
Nice.
and then she's
Jewel,
Yeah.
do you... I've never heard you pray to anybody before. Does Jewel have a god?
The tabaxis have a god.
Is
There's
it
like
Oogjow?
a specific. No, it's like a
Somewhere, a tiny mouse grants your prayer.
it's like a cat god, I think.
Let me see. Tabaxi gods. I was just curious because it depends on kind of what, like, death
Religion.
vision.
Yeah,
so.
they most clans worship Tezca, Nula, or rarely Azul.
Right, but you're not from your.
No,
I guess
Jagger
this becomes
Lord.
the thing. You're not from like Maztica or Chult, right? Like you were born.
Where
here?
her family's from, though.
Would they have taught you the ways of their
Probably.
Maztican?
I don't think she's particularly pious, but I feel like most cats aren't. I feel like cats are like, I guess.
Yeah, Nula is. This is so dumb. Nula is just the Mazdakan goddess of animals. Tezka is the bloodthirsty god of the sun, heat, and fire. And then Cat Lord, who doesn't even get a name, just Cat Lord, man. Cat Lord, Master Cat, was one of the animal lords, ruler of all felines. Yeah.
So
Cool.
some Azul. Huh.
Yeah. Oh my god, the art for Cat. I'm gonna post a picture of Cat Lord because chat needs to see Cat Lord. Okay, so because the question is, in the Forgotten Realms, if you don't worship a god, you would have gone to Limbo anyway and waited for your god to come and save you, right? So you never got past Limbo. You went to a strange place that is like a vast open
the
plain.
Cat Lord, right? Because it's a fickle and tricky entity.
Yeah.
She's like, I like that one. That one's fun.
So you visit this vast and empty plain of Limbo, but only briefly before you're brought back by the servants of the grandfather bones or whatever they call them. So probably like a reaper like came to you in Limbo and was like, yeah, it's not time yet. Come on back. And you get called back. And also look at this sick picture of Cat Lord.
The pillars black.
Look,
covering his
look at
face.
Cat Lord here. I wonder if I can just show you.
That Cat Lord
He doesn't look like a cat at all.
No, not
dies,
at all.
and he passes on his powers to Kitten Lord. I'm reading it right here in the mid 14th
So wait,
century.
that's just like the Cat Lord doesn't look
Wait,
any.
that actually happened?
Yeah, that happened.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh wait. What's the head cat from Cats?
Oh God.
The old Deuteronomy. That's
Why it's Cat Lord, because Cat Lord is an inherited title. So yes, Cat Lord, chosen heir.
That's who she worships.
Perfect. So who is the current Cat Lord? Apparently in 1357, Doom kidnapped the Kitten Lord and used their ability to travel to Gladsheim to fight Tyr. The Cat Lord snatched the claw of Malar and used it to escape. Oh, hey, so your god,
Lord of Malar.
your god is the same as Makaria's god in that they both live on the prime material plane.
Oh.
So the Cat Lord and the Kitten Lord are all flapping around in the.
But also, you wake up and your head is in my lap, and my eyes are closed, and it's probably a little cold.
I think she like opens one eye and looks up and then opens the other one and then looks really confused for a moment because she really didn't expect Makaria to. Did I die?
Yes.
So let's talk about what Raise Dead does to you when you return.
Yeah, you're pretty rough.
So you have currently, and I'll let you figure out how you want to handle this for your character sheet and stuff, but you have a -4 penalty to all attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks.
Yep.
That penalty is reduced by 1 every time you take a long rest.
But you're not poisoned.
But you're not poisoned.
Yeah.
It's only going to take us another
Do I
So-
have any hit dice?
The reason why this spell neutralizes poisons and cures non-magical diseases is because, and if you ever played the Eye of the Beholder games, you know this pain well. You can come back in earlier versions of D&D, you can come back from the dead still poisoned and then just die instantly right away.
Yeah.
So Raising Dead spell, was Baldur's Gate like that too? Where it was just like, you're poisoned, you die, and you're like, I cast Revivification, oh God, probably still poisoned, dead.
I can't honestly say it because in Baldur's Gate, once your party starts dying, it's kind of done.
You just load. So yeah. So there you go. So you come back from the dead. It is an ordeal. All your mortal wounds are healed. You're still pretty beat up. But you have 1 hit point and you're at -4 until you take a long rest. Then you're at -3 and so forth and so on.
Do I have any hit dice?
You don't recover any, but you don't lose any from dying.
Okay.
So you have however many you had, but you can't use it because you haven't taken a short rest yet.
Yeah. That's what I figured.
Welcome back. Please don't tell anyone that I did this, okay? I mean, the party members know, but like, thank you.
Stomp, 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 stomp.
Yes.
Hearing you. Is she? Jewel, you're alive.
There's gunk all over me. She just starts like cleaning herself up.
How are you? Can you walk?
I don't feel very good, but I've not felt very good most of the time we're down here, so I'm not sure that's different.
And you look up and you see that for the last 2 hours during the short rest and during the casting, after I got rid of the bodies over there, 8 has made. I took out 3 of my sacks and my tailoring kit and stuff, and I've made you like a sling to put you in so I can carry you on my back.
I think I can walk. I just don't let me get stabbed again.
Oh, yes, of course.
I'll have you know, this is the first time I've brought someone back from the dead and they weren't, undead. So, like.
The effects of such a thing is usually not great. I would probably need some time to rest. If
I could use like 4 cat naps. Did you like take a little tiny notebook out of her bag and just like make a tiny note? And I think we look as the audience looks over her shoulder and it's just lives lost. Closes it. Puts it away.
Thanks.
I turn to Martha and I'm like, you were headed up to the surface, right? To Waterdeep?
I had considered it, but I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to head back down to Skullport.
I don't like her.
I don't.
I don't give a shit. And then I turn back to Martha.
Yeah, and she says, thing is, without my spell book, I'm pretty limited. So maybe wherever you're going, I'm going to.
Well, I mean, if Jewel needs
This.
a few days, another prisoner of the drow that we're here, Martha, Jewel, Martha.
She curtsies to you. Technically, it's Marta, not Martha.
Oh, is it Marta?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a Spanish elf, I guess.
Jewel goes and reclaims all of like weapons and things that she dropped and lost.
Mm-hmm.
And then goes to 8. Do we trust that person?
So if we need a couple of days to recover, or if that
Looks
that
usual.
seems like a good idea to me, then maybe we should head back topside for a little while.
Do you think it's safe traveling back through those levels? We're not that far from the river, and if we can get to the river, there'll be boats. And if we can get a boat, we can get to Skullport. So lateral and down rather than up.
I feel like the issue with Skullport is that I don't know that we'll be safe there.
We have a contact there.
She smiles and she says, "You'll be safe there as long as you're with me."
Fine. We'll go with you to Skullport, rest, and then return and find your spellbook, I assume.
Why are we doing her chores for her?
Oh, I can.
Why are we doing anything down here?
She puts her hands up and she says, "Yeah, you don't have to worry about coming back and getting my spellbook. I've got others. I mean, it's just my travel spellbook. It's not the whole library. I don't just carry around every spell I've ever written down with me. Just the ones I think I'll use."
So you have more of a library in Skullport then?
She looks at you and she's like, "You like books?"
Very much.
She smiles and she says, "There is another question worth asking, and I want you to know that I'm not going to judge you however you decide to answer it, but I'm not the only prisoner the drow had. There are others. So if we leave them here, they're like to starve, die of thirst, without their jailers."
Do you know where they're being kept?
She shakes her head. "I was unconscious when they brought me here."
Well, with Jewel in the state that she's in, I don't know if, and the rest of us without any spells or resources to speak of, I don't know.
Oh, yes. Reveal
There
all
is
of our
more.
weaknesses to this random stranger. Great idea.
I could snap her in half like a twig. I think we're fine.
She
When you
is
take a
lying.
shot at someone, I seem to remember that you say a bunch of bullshit as well. So you know what? Shut up.
Yeah, and she so Marta is like, this is a tense situation in a bad environment. We're surrounded by dead things. Everybody's feeling a little on edge. And that spell that you just cast, Makaria, was it? That looked exhausting. You must be tired. There's no reason to get upset.
Better than ever.
She gives you a look that in no uncertain terms means, well, honey, you don't look very good. And she says, there's no reason for us to be bickering. I understand that we're stressed out, but life is long, and there'll be time for arguing somewhere safe. So here's the thing. I'd love to just lead you back to the river, but like I said, I was ambushed and knocked unconscious. So we'll need to look around a little until I can get my bearings. Then I can find us an easy way back, and then down to Skullport.
I know you are not wont to listen to me, Rin, but this woman and that man knew each other, and they refused to say so. She lied, and he died, so we can't get it out of him.
You just want another skeleton.
I have plenty of skeletons. I don't need hers. Besides, she looks weak, and I bet her bones are fragile and stupid.
As a player, Jay,
Yes.
I know all this stuff that you've said because
Yeah,
hey,
totally. Yes.
we've like had that conversation. But as a character,
Rin's in love with
Should I
her. No, I
listen
get it. It's
you
fine.
any more than I ever have ever in the past ever. I seem to remember a certain point where I did you a favor and then told you not to contradict me anymore. And I'm just going to go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Well, if we find any of these other prisoners while we look around for this river, I'm sure we can sort that out. But the lives of my companions come first.
Of course. I mean, it's not as if these other prisoners are my family or anything. I'm only temporarily in distress. Once I have a spell book on me, I'm much more formidable. You don't have a spell book just on you, do you?
Makaria mumbles something about
So Marta, when she says that, when you look like, she puts her hands up and she says, I mean, I don't mean to, I know that wizards sharing spell books is an intimate act, and I would never ask you to see yours unless you are absolutely certain that I could contribute. But if I could just take a look at it, I might be able to study some of your spells. And she's like very clearly mistaking you for a wizard.
Rin is like,
Jewel has several she has an unknown book. I don't think she has that one on her, but I do have a book from 2.26e.
Okay. Thank you for noting where the book came from.
That's what you told me to write down because I couldn't identify it.
Thank
so
you.
I think
Jesus,
Jewel,
it's the weirdest thing to be like, I got this
I think
axe
that's what Jewel does. She
from
sees
like
that
level
Rin
F.
is stumbling and she's like, I have this.
Jewel.
Okay, so hang on. Let me see what it is. 2 point.
We do not arm our enemies.
Rin doesn't want to
Very
reveal that
close.
she's not a wizard because, like, being a wizard is cool.
I have
think-
no idea what this book is. And
It's
maybe
you got it in 26E. Yeah, it's a badly burned book. And you want to just hand it over?
no, I think she just holds it up. She's kind of far away.
Yeah.
So
And she looks at it and she turns back to you, Rin, and she says, we'll have to compare notes later. And she walks over to Jewel.
No.
And she looks at it and she puts her hand out. She says, may I?
Makaria is like,
you know what it is.
she's so close to slapping it out of your hand the second that lady like reaches for it. I just brought you back from the dead. If you give that to her, I will put you back there.
I feel like there's a lot of tension here and I'm very close to dying again. And she's the one who's going to bring me back to life. Do you know what this book is?
Is that a riddle? I can't tell you if I don't get to look at the pages.
Don't arm our enemies.
Why don't we find somewhere that I can take a nap and then you can look at this? And
She turns, looks at Makaria for a second, then looks at you, Jewel. She doesn't lower herself to speak to Makaria. And she says, is she always like this?
everybody's always like this. She's smitten and I'm a kitten and she's mad.
Man.
And they're
I'm
be the one to kill you if you mess up.
I am a robot. So yeah, so she looks at it and she just puts her hands out like, I can't tell you anything about the book unless you're willing to give it to me.
Why don't we wait until I'm feeling less on the verge of needing her help again?
That's fine. My abilities are very limited without spells to power them, but I can try and help.
Your healer.
Yeah, so you say that to and she nods and she says, there are a lot of mercenaries in Skullport. Maybe once we get down there, you can replace her.
It's harsh.
I like her.
So
I mean, by definitions of like.
she kind of like does the like, well, if that's that, she looks back at the horrific barricade that 8 has constructed, and she kind of like is like, good barricade, and she looks at 8 and says, well, no one's getting in, and we're gonna need. Can you give me a hand helping me out? She gestures like, hey, maybe you can move the corpses so we can get out of here.
Yes, if we're leaving now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just like unceremoniously pull it, probably rip one of the spider's heads off by mistake. Damn it, stupid spider.
I don't have any like healing potion for Jewel, but we can't go anywhere with her with 1 HP. Absolutely.
Oh,
not.
right, you can't take the.
Somebody's got a healing potion.
I'll give you.
I think I do.
I give you yours back because
Yeah.
I've sent you right now.
Cool. Okay. All right. So drink that healing potion, Jewel, and we'll pick up again next time as we finally leave the inverted ziggurat. I mean, dwarven hall of this room. You killed one of the main sources of like bad. It's just cleaning up the drow wing of this level now. Like basically just the drow lady and her servants, and then there's gonna be a lot of just like, cool. Well, let's wander around and look at stuff. I'm very excited.
Nice.
Congratulations on murdering that lady. I too was surprised that she didn't have some kind of like magic weapon or something.
I mean, can I just make the note that Marta's token is like a demon or something?
Oh, she's a tiefling because Marta's a mage, and that's the default. Marta doesn't get her own.
I was like, I'm playing into the hands of this.
No. She doesn't get her own token. We're just using the mage token because in the book that mage is a cool looking tiefling.
Gotcha. I just wanted to wonder. I was wondering if that was.
I saw that too. I was like,
yeah, no, she's a beautiful moon elf lady.
That's the next campaign when people like look like.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Soon, literally everyone will be hellish demons. But
that's awesome. That's more in my element.
Yeah. Right. Cool. All right. Well, let's do some shout outs. That's our episode. Thanks for coming, everybody. Let's start with Elf. Start with you. Do it.
Hi. I am Distracted Elf. You can find me in such places on the internet as twitch.tv/distractedelf or Twitter @distractedelf, where I will flirt with all the wizard ladies.
I figured.
In a very polite way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a very fun interaction. Thank you for that. When I realized she was a wizard, and I was like, oh, she's also like an elf lady wizard.
She's a wizard and cute.
Yeah, the universe needs more cute wizards. Cool. Blue Jay. Thank you for suffering through the knowing something. And actually, this goes for the whole party. This is the thing that can make D&D groups like just collapse under their own pressure. When one character knows something and another character doesn't know or believe it, and then they fight about it. And it's like it's so easy for it to go right into like, well, fuck you guys. I don't want to play D&D anymore. So Elf and Blue Jay particularly.
Nah, we both know that we've
Elf
been down
is in
this
love
road
with
before.
any wizard ever.
And your character's a piece of shit?
I am a
think
piece of shit.
Yeah, okay. Well,
So-
Blue Jay's not a piece of shit, so please.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, I wouldn't sign a legal document saying it. I wouldn't notarize that.
Any hoot. I'm Blue Jay. You can find me most of the time over at twitch.tv/BlueJay. Or I guess most of the time now, I'm either on Twitter at BlueJay_712 or on Patreon, patreon.com/BlueJay712. I've been putting Makaria's journal over there, and let me just tell you that she will have a lot to say about all of this. So once we finally get a long rest, saying will happen. It's the things.
Excellent.
Writing down feelings and emotions and sassafras.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Cool. Let's do Lauren. Go next. Thank you for being patient today, Lauren, and for being dead the whole episode. I know that is tedious as hell, but you did it.
The beautiful part is that a good portion of playing RPGs is just listening, and you are all very entertaining people to listen to. So I had a good time. You know, I didn't have to work very hard. That's great. Hi, my name is Random Tuesday. You can find me pretty much all the places at Random Tuesday. I am currently working on an Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn cosplay. I'm working on that on my stream as well as on my social medias. I have pictures of my cosplays over on Patreon and all of that good stuff. Or you can watch me play Shadowrun 6th Edition on Sundays over on Roll20.
Sick. Last but not least, MVP, and the V stands for violence. It's Dave.
Yay! I like that. Most violence player. Thank you everyone for coming back and watching. As always, it's lovely to have lots of chat support and stuff. My stuff. Well, we've managed to raise enough money with everyone's kind and generous donations through the stream of Shinobigami that we had mentioned at the beginning, so that we'll be able to get together. So I just wanted to say thank you again for that, for anyone who's here and contributed with that. My other stuff is at Dave_the_human on Twitter if you want to follow me there, and Dave_human on Twitch. No, what? I won't spoil the surprise.
Ooh, a
That's
surprise. Excellent. Cool. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming and watching the show. Last but not least, it's me. I'm Adam. Hello. Hello there. I'm the Dungeon Master. I did all of this stuff. I'm the one that has to make weird drow flirt with shithead teenagers and then immediately whiplash and be a hot elf. So thank you for coming and playing witness to that. You can find all of the other stuff that we've done, because these folks, we've played games together before. You can find most of them on Roll20 app on YouTube, and you can find our most recent game together, Shinobigami, starting on, I think, Thursday on my YouTube channel, which you can find by just following me on Twitter. So thanks for coming, everybody. This stream is brought to you by Roll20. Roll20 is what we use to do all the maps and the character sheets and all that cool tie-in stuff. There is a version of Descent into Avernus coming out soon. I'm going to try to do a first look at it literally as soon as the Wizards of the Coast legal team puts it in my hot little hands. I'm going to try and do a stream of that. And then we'll talk a little bit more in the coming weeks about whether we're going to do a stream of it or what that's going to look like and how we're going to start it and all that. We're still working that stuff out. Keep tuning in for Dungeon the Mad Mage. We will see you next time for more. Thanks for coming, everybody. Bye. Whether you're a brand new fan or a longtime viewer, you can support the show and the cast of Roll20 Presents by going to roll20.net/start/Roll20Presents and signing up for a free account. Dungeon Masters will find maps, tokens, and a cornucopia of exciting tools to improve their game. Players will gain access to built-in character sheets with support for dozens of different role-playing games. No matter what role you take, our quantum randomized dice roller is there to keep the action moving. Don't wait to join the party. Sign up today at roll20.net/start/Roll20Presents.